Tony Vitello had his boys ready for this past regional, Bob, because they strode through it. And really, to be honest, as we head into the supers, if you listen to Vegas, they're predicting them to stroll through the supers too.
Yeah. First of all, remember, guys, to like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. All those things, free to you, but they mean a lot to us. Yeah, Tim, that they went easy through the regionals, and I'm gonna say it right now, man. I think they're gonna stroll through the super regionals. I mean, we're playing Evansville. Yes, they won their region. You got to respect that.
Yeah.
And there was a couple good teams in that region,
Oh, darn good teams.
but
Darn good teams.
um, there was a 4 seed, Tim, and Tennessee is number 1 seed. And one thing I've learned, I'm no expert on college baseball, but there's a pretty decent drop off from the 4 seed to 1 seed. I know they won their region, but I think they're gonna come back down to earth. And Tennessee wins both games to go 2-0 to go ahead and get into the College World Series.
Well, Bob, you're stepping out on a limb there.
Right.
If you bet Tennessee straight up $100, you probably get like 3 cents in return.
Right.
Um, but no, seriously though, man, Evansville, they've got some decent ball players, a
Yeah.
couple of good hitters,
Yeah.
can really stroke the ball out of the ballpark.
Right.
A good freshman pitcher
Hmm.
that shut down like ECU the other day. I think allowed 1 run and a couple of hits for the game. Was their conference pitcher of the year as a freshman, Deverman.
Hmm.
But that said, I think that was far and away probably was one of his more impressive outings of the year. I
Hmm.
mean, he got a ERA of 3.81 for the year. But he's not really had to face a lot of quality competition for the majority of the year. I think Evansville, uh, Cinderella Slipper, should get pretty much crushed this weekend.
Yeah, I mean they've got a couple good hitters. I think his name's Schallenberger and
Yeah, he 17 home runs.
yeah, Figueroa or something like that.
The kid's
Kid.
name is Kip.
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave it at
Yeah.
that because
I think he had.
mispronouncing kids' names my thing, Bob. You
Yeah.
can't be doing it.
No, I'm right there with you. I think he had 21 home runs. Both guys hitting in the upper 300s.
Good ball
So
player.
good ball players. After that, I think they come back down to earth a little bit on their roster, but yeah, they got a good freshman pitcher who seems to be doing better as the year goes on. But man, when you look at their schedule, I kind of looked at it quite a bit. Um, they played a lot of bad teams and got beaten by
Yeah,
some bad teams.
my team. Too.
Um, I think they played Mississippi State. Mississippi State swept them. Mississippi State's not one of the best teams in the Southeastern Conference. Uh, you know, uh, at the end of the day, I just don't see how they beat us, and move on. It would take, honestly, Tennessee would have to play poorly, and they would have to play their A game.
Well, they were 38 and 24, so that tells you they're far from dominant. And like you just said, Bob, this series is on Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee plays well, they win. They play
Hmm.
average, they win. They choke, then this is going to be one of those teams that other fan bases make fun of for decades. Uh,
That's the biggest problem. That's the thing they're fighting, to me, more than anything, is there's a little bit of pressure on them, man. When you're the number 1 overall seed and you're playing the only 4 seed left in the tournament, you have a clear path. And if a lot of times if
the
you
only
play
person,
somebody good, you're like, okay, well, if we get
I
beat, we
mean,
get beat.
mhm.
It's an upset, yeah. But when you get beat by a 4 seed, then yeah, you choked. And I think we've seen some Tennessee teams do this in other sports
Well,
before.
we did it in this sport 2 years ago against a good Notre Dame team,
Yeah, I'm
but
better than
they
Notre
wasn't on
Dame
our side.
team. No.
That 22 team uh, was head and shoulders above Notre Dame and had no business losing. And
That 22 team was the best team that I have seen in college baseball. I mean, period. We had no business losing Notre Dame, but Notre Dame was quite a bit better than what this Evansville team is.
oh, absolutely.
This team, though, Tim, this team's moving forward. I'm going on a limb here. I'm gonna say Tennessee beats Evansville 2 games to nothing and moves into the College World Series and continues their path for a national championship.
Well, Bob, like any good quality Tennessee fan, you know, you look ahead,
Absolutely. I mean,
counting them chickens.
that's what we always do. We always look ahead.
That's right.
And when we're playing bad, we're looking ahead to next year.
Whole year. Yeah.
And sometimes when we're really bad, we're looking ahead to
Well,
2 years.
well, to the next coach.
Next to the next coach.
Next coach.
I've done that. I've done that before.
Yeah, but
I was like, we got 2 more years on this guy's contract. Then we can get a decent coach.
no, I
Yeah.
tell you what though, I do like the way the College World Series appears to be kind of shaping up. We don't have another Southeastern Conference team on our side of the bracket.
I like that.
The other side could very well potentially have four. All four, they could have four teams in that on that side of the bracket.
Yeah.
Um, so I personally like that. I know some people would argue that well, you've not got a scouting report on the teams you've played or will be playing, but I like to think well they don't have a scouting report on us either.
Right.
And when you're the best team in college baseball, I like that.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, Southeastern Conference, I know we haven't really, you know, done great in the regionals. We probably should have another team or two in this thing still going, but
Well, I'll bet you that I'll bet you at least four SEC teams make it to the College World Series.
yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah, I
I
wouldn't doubt
wouldn't be shocked if all five advance.
that. Right. Uh, but you know, I'm like you, Tim. Southeastern Conference baseball, I mean, look, top 4 teams in the country.
And at one point, I think, or
Yeah,
at the end, I
yeah.
don't know.
So I mean, yeah. So I mean, and it was pretty well much that way for the most part of the year.
Majority of the season.
Yeah.
It really comes down to these guys. They saw what happened in 22.
Mm-hmm.
Did the leaders on this team step up and have big things? I mean, Christian Moore, uh, does he take us to the championship?
Yeah. Speaking of Moore, man, where is he on the all-time greats? Let's just say the Taylor era. He's got to be up there. I mean,
Easily.
I mean, he may be the top dog. I mean, we've had some, and that 22 team had some really good ones. You know, Jordan Beck, Trey Lipscomb,
Drew Gilbert.
Drew Gilbert. But, honestly, none of them had the stats from from my memory of what, SEMO has this year. And, only guys I think could compete with him might be somebody, it would have to be a pitcher, a Dolander or somebody like that. We've had some really good pitchers too. Um, but
Yeah,
man,
we've had some loaded aces. There's no doubt about that.
but yeah, this team I think is a better defensive team than 22 was as far as fielding goes. Um, a lot of players have seemed like they've just took a step. SEMO has, Blake Birch took a big step. Uh, I mean, we're just I think, a more well-rounded team, and I just hope. I mean, not a better team because that 22 team is the best team I've ever seen. I just think we may have a better mental
Makeup.
makeup. Because
Well, we very well could. And the talent, we say 22 was just so much better. But this team right here has got a lot of talent. I mean, you're talking about uh, when the MLB draft happens this year, uh, pretty much it's going to feel like we lose our entire team.
Yeah.
It's going to feel like.
I think the 22 team, the biggest issue with the 22 team, they had their little antics. The college baseball world, quite a few of them wanted them to lose. And I think they felt that pressure that everybody wanted them to lose but them. And I think it kind of got to them. So
It may have.
I think this team has a little bit less pressure as far as that goes. Yeah, maybe
Well,
not this weekend.
yeah, maybe not this weekend though,
Right.
because everybody's quietly looking on you and saying, "Don't choke."
Yeah.
And what should be a really non-competitive series. That's why the TV has put them at 3 p.m. on Friday and
Right.
11 a.m. on Saturday because the better time slots are going to a series that seem to be more competitive.
Right.
So, with that said, I hope Christian Moore, Blake Burton, and guys can, just do what they've done all year long,
Mhm.
lead this team to the next series, and bring us home a trophy, man.
Yeah, we're championship time, Tim. It is championship time. We're going to win this series. We're going to cruise, maybe semi cruise, on into the College World Series. We're going to bring home a championship, Tim. I truly believe that.
Yeah, maybe not the maybe not the lifetime within the next 12 months that we bring home a
That's
championship.
right. That's right. National champions Tennessee football team. I mean, you hear that first right now. Go ahead and turn off all TVs for the next year and just take my word for it. Don't
In fact, go ahead and bet the house rent, the
bet.
mortgage payment there.
Do it up. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do it. Yeah, bet you a dollar or two. That's what I. But I think hey, football team's gonna be outstanding this year. Outstanding. There's not a day goes by that I don't think about how good this Tennessee football team is, and imagine us beating these really good teams and going to the college playoff every single day. Every single day I think about it. Multiple times a day, honestly. Multiple times a day. I got issues. But yes, not our last championship.
Yeah, well, I mean, quite honestly, Bob, as long as you're competing for championships, and I think we're set to do that in multiple sports.
Yeah,
Danny White's got it going on over there in his department,
yeah,
and don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
I agree.
Well, guys, that's the end of this episode. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes with us. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. As Bob said, doesn't cost you anything, helps us out a lot. Same thing with the likes and the shares and the
Hmm.
comments. Comments really push that algorithm.
Yeah,
So, guys, until next time, go Big Orange. Go Vols win the baseball series this weekend.
try it. Go boss.